As if it were written in the stars, Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, produced the fastest double clear of GCL Round 1. But what about that clear from the Rome Gladiators to put them in second place? It wasn't such smooth sailing for the championship leaders, the Berlin Eagles, and the Prague Lions, two-time winners this year already, really struggled. There has been heavy rain falling over Stockholm. What impact will it have? We'll find out next in GCL Round 2.
In the wonderful Scandinavia, historic but contemporary, urban but most welcoming, Stockholm is a powerful capital with a strong equestrian heritage, where top-class horses and riders will give an incredible spectacle. Home heroes and international stars will battle for glory. Longines Global Champions Tour at Olympic Stadium from the 17th to the 19th of June.
A handful of the leading championship contending teams have found life very, very difficult in Stockholm this weekend already. What will the story then tell us come the end of today for Super Saturday? We have a second round of Global Champions League to come and, of course, still an LGCT Grand Prix of Stockholm to follow. As we mentioned, there has been a lot of rain that has fallen over Stockholm over the last 24 hours. What impact is it going to have on the turf? What is Uliana Vizani and his team going to do to try and make the jumping as smooth as possible? How will the riders contend with the surface? And what impact will it have, especially for the teams that are going to be early out the gate today? The likes of the Prague Lions, your two-time winners already in 2022. Can Stars, Paris Panthers, Ben Mayer coming in with explosion. No Dara Kenny today. Harry Smulders comes in. It's one of the many changes that we will unpack for you here on GCTV. So thank you for joining us. My name is Mark Lewis and we are ready to get stuck in to all of the action in the second round of Global Champions League. Now, before we go any further, let's show you how the top four teams, two of which were double clear, the other two of which thought they were double clear, and only a single time fault stopped and denied them that right of going double clear. Let's show you how the top four teams performed in GCL Round 1.
Valkenswaard United 7th on the championship. Eningen Stargold will go first. Curves this line to make it an easier 6. 5, very deep on 5. Slows down and gets a clear on the board inside the time allowed. That clear stands. Gilles Thomas now in the rain with Luna van den Dennehoff. A bit of a tricky start there for the Belgian. Into the double now. Good swing. He goes for 4, has her on the hind leg. And both approaches work. Gilles Thomas makes it happen with a time fault. With a time fault.
I think the problem was he watched my round. We couldn't watch any before, and my horse is naturally so fast. And I also went everywhere around. He did the same, and he was a bit unlucky that he was just over the time. But I think he did also a very good job.
Shanghai Swans with Christian Aalman and Max Kühner. Solid gold. A great performer this season with 7 appearances, 5 clears. Moves lightly off the ground. And what does Aalman do? Easy even. Easy on the inside 4. Jumped the Viking ship on the angle to land on the inside of the line and make it an easy 4 stride to the double of uprights. And Christian Aalman not with a clear in 77.94 seconds. Kühner with Electric Blue P. And also on the inside line for 5 strides, holds him, supports him well. And here comes the first double clear of the afternoon. No, it's a time fault as well. It's also a time fault for Max Kühner and for the Shanghai Swans, the same as Valkenswaard United.
Yeah, I had one time fault. I underestimated the time a little bit. I went one turn inside and I thought that'll be enough, but yeah, one stride too much in the whole course.
The home team rides in, Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. Swedish superstars in the Swedish capital on a Swedish-owned team. Now Malin Bayard Jonsson with H&M Indiana. but for some reason the sun has broken through the deck of clouds now that the home team is in. And Berlin Eagles came out of the first round on just a single rail. The league leaders, Malin Bayer-Johnsen, Indiana clear. Clear round for Malin Bayer-Johnsen, and H&M Indiana clear round for Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. Malin Bayer-Johnsen hands over to Peder Fredriksson on Catch Me Not. No team has produced a double clear. The Hearts still on schedule. Risky inside turn. Knocks on the floor, Catch Me Not. Easy 5. Easy 4. Supporting well for the first double clear of the afternoon, and the lead here in Stockholm. Stockholm Hearts, they might, to the delight of the home crowd, take the lead in round 1.
It's a good start. Nice to be clear at the home ground. It's always great with a good crowd and good atmosphere, and I think Stockholm really has that.
The last team enter, that's Rome Gladiators. It's a little bit wide, overrides your line to the Oxer, and then gets very deep. From Liverpool to Liverpool to Liverpool, those 3 last fences. Here's Colter for a clear for the team, and it is a clear for the team indeed. It's fast as well. 79.21 seconds. That's the 4th fastest clear we've seen so far. Shane Breen now. He's the last to go. You know that there is just one team on double clear. That is the home team. With her fast clear, Colter has given all the time in the world to Shane Breen to get a double clear. Adds a stride, goes for 5, holds him, supports him, and has, oh, big rub, still standing. What about the time? Oh, it's going to be close. Where are they? Just slower. Oh my goodness. And so Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, lead after round 1. But these Rome Gladiators also get a double clear on the board and find themselves in a tremendous position for the second round.
Now, take nothing away from the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. They are in pole position and they produced the best double clear of GCL round 1. But from an expectation point of view, from a championship standing point of view, that double clear from the Rome Gladiators needs to be the standout moment of GCL round 1. For Shane Breen and Zoe Colter to deliver that double clear in that time was sensational. The 2 time faults for Shanghai and Valkenswaard and Istanbul Sultans. Talk about punching above your weight. Now, just 1 rail behind the 2 championship leading teams. Berlin Eagles, your championship leaders, on 4. Miami Celtics on 8. And that takes us into the bottom half of the table. Hamburg Giants continue to start to lose grip of the championship. They find themselves in 9th on a score of 9. And then Madrid in motion. 4 podiums this year already, now down in 12th, thanks to those 10 faults from Jack Whittaker. And Paris Panthers, a disappointing season continues for them. And let's not forget Prague Lions, your 2-time winners already in 2022, now find themselves down in 16th place after a very difficult opening round from Peter de Vos in particular. Now, Fredrik de Backer is standing by for us. Fredrik, you were the physiotherapist yesterday. I hope you can be the weatherman today. You were telling us that there has been loads and loads of rain that has fallen overnight in Stockholm. From a sport perspective, is this going to impact the ground? How will this affect the teams, especially those coming out the gate quite early today?
What question do you want me to answer first? Can I be the meteorologist? No, but it's clear to everybody that if you look up, it's grey, it's cloudy. It's not dark, but it's cloudy, there's overcast. And you do feel that any moment some drops of rain can come falling out of the sky. Are they going to fall? Yes or no? That is the big question. We've got a big day coming up with GCL round 2 and with the Grand Prix, of course. And I do feel that we will have rain, but the question is only when will we have rain. About the ground, difficult to say. If you look at the ground itself, it feels quite strong, actually. It feels quite good. There's not much water on it. It feels quite solid. The water has drained quite well. So in terms of ground, I'm pretty convinced that it's good enough for some heavy runs of jumping here on Super Saturday.
Okay, we did catch up with Fernando Martinez Sommer very quickly to ask him whether or not the weather was going to impact his performance. Let's hear from him as to whether or not it will make an impact.
No, not really. I think the footing is really good. I think horses are okay. I didn't have a great day yesterday, but normally horses are jumping good. So yeah, I think it's not gonna make a difference.
They say never change a winning team, but the Rome Gladiators decided to let you ride today instead of Shane Breen.
Yeah, we had a discussion there, and my horse, we didn't have a great day yesterday, but I think he's going to be ready for today. He's going to be, sharp and everything. So, I think you need to try, and you really never know, you know. In the end, sometimes you stick with the same team, and results are not there, or you change and it's the same. So, hopefully we have a good day.
So when we spoke to FMS, the sun was bursting out. And as Frederick has pointed out, that sun is not bursting out anymore. Here we see some live visuals of the Olympic Arena in Stockholm. And as Frederick said, the threat seemingly of rain being able to fall at any moment will be in the back of the riders' minds. Frederick, back to you. FMS we're hearing from, he comes in. We'll talk changes a little bit later, but maybe just get your reaction about the Rome Gladiators. Because for me, to take nothing away from the Stockholm Hearts, I feel that their performance in round one was the biggest surprise, perhaps the biggest standout moment if we take expectation into consideration. Do you agree, or am I reading that wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. You're never wrong, Mark, actually.
Oh, don't be silly. I am very often wrong.
On a negative perspective... on a negative perspective, you could say that the performance of the Paris Panthers was the big surprise. In a positive perspective, indeed, the performance of Rome Gladiators is one of the surprises of round one yesterday. And that's why it also surprises me that FMS, Fernando Martinez Sommer, comes on for the team after that those two riders already jumped two cracking rounds in round one. So that's a little bit of a surprise, and it just starts to rain right now as the course walk has started. Now, Fernando yesterday, I think he came out with a score of 15, so he had 3 fences down and some time faults, and I was kind of surprised that in the end they decided to put him on the team. Apparently, in the end, the feeling was good enough for him to be on the team, the feeling on the horse. But if I would have been team manager, I would not have made the call. Now we'll see later on at the end of this second round of GCL whether or not team management was right or wrong, but it is a risky decision.
All right, with the course walk officially underway, we heard the bell. We'll let you get your course walk underway, Frederick. We'll catch up with you in a few moments' time as the riders and Frederick now begin to measure their strides, measure their distances, and make sure that they are ready for GCL round 2. From a championship perspective, we spoke about the Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M doing so well in that opening round. But if you take into consideration Madrid Emotion, Prague Lions, Hamburg Giants, Berlin Eagles, the championship leading teams found life very difficult in the opening round. Let's go back and show you from a championship point of view how those leading teams performed in round 1.
The league leaders coming in, that is Berlin Eagles, powered by Fundis Radsport. And the red armband around the non-injured arm of Philipp Schulze-Tophoff. Little rattle, losing a little bit of the shape there. Concordes goes very wide, completely around the Global Champions League combination. 84 seconds the time allowed. Here's Schulze-Tophoff on a very long 4, lifts him well, looking down at the Liverpools, but gets home clear inside the time allowed. And this is the next Philipp on the Berlin Eagles team. Philipp Weishaupt with Kobe. Oh, and he slows down, and it is the top rail of the upright into the GCL double that goes down. So they don't secure the double clear. The time is 80.17 seconds with 1 fence down. It is 4 faults for him and for the team. Berlin Eagles out on 4 as Madrid Motion come in, and now it gets interesting. It's Jack Whittaker on Q Paravati and Michael van der Vleuten on Dewis. Now Dewis hasn't jumped a GCL class before. Adding stride, is he considering an inside turn here? Stretching out the combination, no, he goes around. Oh, they could be in trouble. The time fault is coming. Is it just a time fault, or is there also a jumping fault? And how many time faults? Oh, this is very costly. This is very costly. This is 4 for jumping and 6 for time. Michael van der Vleuten now comes in. This fairly new mare at this level. Dewis is flirting with those 84 seconds. Where can he find some room, some meters, some tenths of seconds to make sure he gets the 84, and it's a little bit slow here. Changes the lead, she's unbalanced in between the double. And the clock is counting, the clock is running. 84 is the limit. Van der Vleuten finishes inside the time. Yes, by 82.54. And the clear from Van der Vleuten, it is 10 for Madrid in Motion. This is the last of the top 4 teams. It's Prague Lions, the winners in Saint-Tropez and in Cannes. How will they fare in cloudy Stockholm? But the Lions are just 2 points behind the Berlin Eagles. And it's an early fault at 2. Early fault at 2 for Leopold van Asten and VDL Group Hutch. On 4, oh, it's going to be very tight. Speed up, speed up. He's not getting there. No, it's 5 in the end for Leopold van Asten. And so it's over to De Vos. De Vos on Cannabis. He knows that sometimes he needs to be slow with Cannabis to keep control. Very deep, he can't get over that front and back rail. So that puts him on 9, and now he reduces the pace. So he will catch time faults, and if he isn't careful, he will get 2 or maybe even 3 time faults. The team dropping behind potentially. Oh, whoa, 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 and it's all falling to pieces there. And 16 for the Lions. Oy. 2 teams are still to go, and in comes a team that has smelled blood. It is Hamburg Giants with Linda Heerd and Long John Silver with Jur Vrieling. 2 greys and the white jackets of Hamburg Giants. So why do they smell blood? Well, because Madrid in Motion have come out with a score of 10 and Prague Lions have come out, or was it, with 16. This is a fast horse, but he is not letting her fly. Oh, and there's a run out nearly. And so it's a fault. And can she recover for this Fastator Oxer? Yes, she can. But they're losing ground on Madrid in Motion. It's 4 faults for Linda Heerd, but something tells me that these 4 were avoidable. Over to Jur Vrieling on Long John. But Long John handles it well. They will need to be careful with the time allowed, and now with a second rail they are already on 8. And the pace of Long John is not high enough, I think, to keep Miami Celtics at bay. A difficult and technical line on the long 4 leaves them standing. And how about the time? Just one time fault, so stays ahead of all those teams on 9. That means that Hamburg Giants are currently 8th on the standings after round 1 of GCL here in Stockholm.
So from the top championship contending teams, they did find life incredibly difficult in GCL round 1. GCTV caught up with Peter De Vos, who told us that he actually wasn't that surprised by the disappointing performance.
I think, to be honest, we came here also a little bit as underdog. We didn't come here with the team to say, okay, we're gonna win here. We had that the last few weeks. We had really also myself with one of my best horses all the time. So it was a different setup, and we knew in the beginning it would be difficult, especially with only 2 riders, no options. So I was very happy that our team manager Anna Kelnerova, she called me yesterday, and we had a really good talk, and I think she gave us some really good confidence for today, and that's what it is.
Second place on the championship standings, but they will be the first team out the gate today following that score of 16 in round 1. Peter De Vos making a horse change. Frederick will give us some reaction and fill us in on some of those changes. He is back in the Olympic Stadium. Frederick, before we get into the changes and the course, how did round 1 perform from a season average point of view? Tell us about how the numbers, I beg your pardon, looked from round 1 in Stockholm.
If you look at the number of clear rounds, it's actually an average. I think we had 12 clears out of 36 rounds. That is average. That's actually 1 out of 3. There's our math again. 1 out of 3. Normally you would be looking at 25%, 1 out of 4. So actually you had a lot of clears. On the other hand, the average score of every rider score per rider in the round 1 was fairly high, higher than normal. Now, if you look at all the results of all those teams, there's a lot of teams with clears. That comes back to the 12 out of 32. But if you look at the non-clears, you straight away go to very high scores. There were 3 riders on a score of 10. There were riders on 12 and on 11. So they messed up even the average score per round in this first round of GCL. So actually, if you look at it, the first round wasn't that difficult of jumping, but there were a lot of time faults and accumulated time faults, 2 time faults for the likes of Jack Whittaker, as you already showed. So in general, the course was jumpable, but some riders really miscalculated, gambled with the time allowed and lost big time.
It's great that you bring up the time faults because I wanted to go there as well. We saw a handful of time faults in the opening round, and normally we expect a course designer to dial things up for GCL round 2. Does Vizani overcompensate? Is he expected to dial it up today? What's your expectation as from a time fault point of view for GCL round 2?
That's always so difficult to judge, Mark. Very difficult to judge, especially when we're walking the course. Now, if you walk the course, straight away you feel that his verticals are a lot taller. He has made some interesting inside turns. I also think it's a bit more technical. I'm standing right by the line of 8 to 9 with a very clear choice, or difficult choice to make, I should say. But there's also a few inside turns. Now, as long as you're taking those inside turns, time faults will never occur. But if you are gambling and you're a little bit slow at the start, that's what Vizani did really well in yesterday's class. The start from 1 to 2 was already very difficult, and it was the easiest option to reduce your pace. You couldn't get into your rhythm, and so the rhythm was disturbed for the rest of your course, that rhythm. But if you find that rhythm here and you get those inside turns, you will never be in trouble for the time allowed. However, if you're not feeling confident and you miss an inside turn, you're a little bit reluctant on the time, a little bit slow on the time, then you've got those time faults. But we have to wait and see. It's very difficult to judge so early with the course walk still underway.
You and I love playing the what-if game, Frederick, and I wonder from a virtual standing point of view, if we were to say, what if things were to end the way they do now, what impact would it have on the championship standings? Have you done the maths and been able to work out and see how things would look if we were to end the competition as it stands?
If we would close Global Champions League of Stockholm right now, it would mean that Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, would rise to the top and would take the lead away from the Berlin Eagles. The Eagles would drop to second, and I think Prague Lions would go down to third. And even though Madrid in Motion didn't have the best run in round 1, they would remain in 4th place. But the way it stands right now, Stockholm Hearts would be the leaders of the Global Champions League at the halfway point.
All right, so come the end of the weekend, the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, doing it at home, could go on to become new championship leaders. And a lot was spoken about Paris Panthers this weekend as well. The excitement around Explosion W returning for the team along with Ben Mayer. And unfortunately for them, once again, things did not work out. Let's quickly remind you as to what took place with Paris Panthers. First team out the gate yesterday, Derek Kenny on Chick Chick, Ben Mayer on Explosion W. And for Derek Kenny, 1 fault quickly became 2. They saw their score move to 8 in that final line, in particular Chick Chick and Derek Kenny having some difficulty. And then the excitement around the Olympic champion returning, and Ben Mayer and Explosion a fault again, taking him to 4, the team to 12, and they now will be the 3rd team out the gate as the Paris Panthers side continues to struggle in 2022. I wonder if there is even an answer to this question. Frederick, yesterday we spoke about how Ben Mayer and how the team can't alone be expected to turn things around. Take us through some of the changes, because Paris do make a change. What is the solution for them? Where do they go today?
The solution indicates that you improve a situation. I don't know if this is going to improve the situation. They are on 12 already. I don't know if they're going to get away from the bottom of the standings after this stage here in Stockholm. They bring in Harry Smolders on Urikas van der Kattenvenne, a younger, inexperienced horse, less experienced than Cheek Chic, for example. Explosion stays on the team, so that happens with the Paris Panthers team. There's also an exciting change on the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M team, the team that leads after round 1. They take out Catch Me Not and bring in H&M All In. Now, I want to take you back to 2021. Last year, Valkenswaard United won here, where also there was a change between Catch Me Not and All In between round 1 and round 2. That was Peter Fredriksson with Edwina Tops-Alexander producing the only clean sheet so far here in Stockholm. And now Peter makes that same move, though it is in reverse order. It was All In first and then Catch Me Not. Now it's first Catch Me Not and All In the second one. So that's an exciting substitution. And there's another one. There is a substitution of Bingo Saint-Hermel. Bingo Saint-Hermel with Daniel Deusser comes onto the team. Jasmin van der Bisschop goes off. They stay with Deusser and with Geribo Deusser bringing in his two-time LGCT Grand Prix winner in Bingo Saint-Hermel.
All right, so some big changes there, and I wonder if Peter Fredriksson will be hoping if lightning strikes twice, this time in the kits of red for Stockholm Hearts instead of Falkensvart United. Talk to us about what you are standing in at the moment, Fredrik. Yesterday you spoke to us about the slope, you spoke to us about the running track. How have things changed today? What has Uliana Vizani put together for round 2?
I'm surely hoping that the lightning will not strike twice. I mean, we're standing here with all the metal around us. I hope it doesn't strike us. But in any case, what has changed? Though there was a lot of rain, the ground has held quite good, actually. I'm quite surprised. I don't think it's perfect, but it's more than good enough. It's above average. And then in terms of the fences, it has gotten quite a lot bigger, Mark. Some interesting lines. I don't know if I have the time to go for a little walk. If we do, then we will go for a little walk. Why not here in the Olympic Stadium? There's one line that really is playing on my mind. I will ask Peter Fredrik, so we don't want to bother him too long. Peter, very quickly. Oh, no. He told us, and he's right to walk away. He told us earlier, Peter Fredriksson, that he doesn't want too much media attention. It's a very important weekend for him with Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M and of course also for the Grand Prix. And normally he's always very kind and very polite, very eager to answer our questions. Now he just walked away. We'll let him be. We'll ask Johnny Pulse. Johnny, quickly, what have you walked from 8 to 9?
For me, quite 7.
And others might do the long 6, you think?
There's a 6, yeah.
There is a 6 with a very risky vertical.
Yeah, but there's for sure a 6.
We are here at fence 9. Is it the first time or the second time that you've walked this course?
Second time.
What do you make of it so far?
Sorry?
What do you make of it?
Tough jumping.
Tough jumping. This is, Mark, this is typical rider behavior. Tough jumping. What is tough for you?
What is tough? I think the combination is very tough out from the exit. And yeah, it's big jumps. Yeah. Everything is tough.
You're motivated?
I'm always motivated.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny Pulse. We'll let Carl Henley come by as he's walking his course for Michael Duffy for the Miami Celtics, of course. So yeah, that's one of the lines that Johnny Pulse just described to us. The line from 8 to 9, an inside 6, very flat, maybe too flat, or an outside 7. It's going to be an outside 7 for Johnny Pulse. But there's a lot of questions here, actually. And as I don't hear the call that we don't have any time left, I'll take you to the last fence, Mark, if that's okay for you. If I'm using up your time, you have to tell me. But I just want to show you the last fence on course. There's a lot of technical lines, and then there's a very long line from the Viking ship. We're going really deep into the local culture, I could say. From the Viking ship, we go to the Northern Light plank, brand new fence that is right there at fence 13. As we come round the corner, Peter Fredriksson is going to think that we're following him. But here at fence 13, this is the final fence. As all the riders flee away from me, they hide from me. This is that final fence, full-faced, maximum height. Absolutely maximum height. Can't be any bigger than this. Absolutely maximum height in an Olympic stadium. A second round of Global Champions League with Olympic champions, with Olympic team champions, and with fences up to Olympic dimensions. Oh, what a beautiful story.
And Fredrik, I always will make as much time for you in the world. I'll never cut you short. But before I do let you go, talk to us about the colours there. I think they're playing on the Northern Lights, if I'm not mistaken. I've never seen a fence look like that before. And to close a GCL round 2 with something like that, just talk to us about the colours and what kind of effect that can have on horses. That looks very unique to me.
It is unique, and we haven't jumped it so far. This is a brand new fence. Nobody has jumped this fence in the world, so this is the first time we're going to jump this. Now, there is the risk that we are overhyping this fence. You have to know that horses only see in 4 colors, so for them, this will blend down. This will be less dramatic than it is for us at the moment. The question, of course, is how will they deal with the fact that there is... There's no light in between. We've seen often that horses that haven't jumped these fences, that are maybe a little bit low on energy at the end of their course, that they're not really focusing or paying attention, and then they see this full fence. They think that they don't have to jump this, that this is just a wall. So we'll have to wait and see how that will turn out. But for sure, it is quite a unique scenery that they've put up here.
It does indeed look very, very nice. And as Frederick said, maybe from a horse perspective, it might downplay it slightly. We as human beings will look at that as incredibly colourful. But what a beautiful fence to finish. Uliana Vazani bringing out all the stops today for GCL round 2. Before we go, Frederick, and send you into your commentary position, a final question from you. Are we seeing a double clear like we saw last year? Does that then only bring in Rome Gladiators or Stockholm Hearts as the winner today? Or are you expecting maybe a surprise that the 2 double clears don't win today? What's your mind sitting on? Where do you think it might end up today?
Let's look at the horses that have jumped double clear so far. Let's look first at H&M All-In. He comes in after only jumping the first phase. It's a fresh horse. Peter will have focused on this Grand Prix, on this class, on this Super Saturday. So he will be fit and ready to go. Look at H&M Indiana. The more she jumps, the better she jumps. So you can expect actually a double clear from the Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M. Now let's take it to Rome Gladiators. Zoe Conter has switched horses, has gone to Davidoff de la Sue, who had a fault yesterday. Zoe Conter only producing her first clear yesterday on Dawa de Green Bay. Now makes a horse change. Is that a good move? We don't know. Shane Breen is no longer on the team. Shane Breen, who is being replaced by Fernando Martinez Sommer, a team, Rome Gladiators, that have always performed well in, what was it now? Was it always in the second round? The question is, can they do it again now? The horse Korbacher hasn't been performing super yesterday. So if you look at the statistics, we're only going to get 1 clean sheet, and that's going to be the one from Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M.
All right, your prediction for your winner in today's second round. Frederick de Backer, thank you very much. We'll set him back onto the commentary box. He'll be one of the many language options available for you today to bring you the second round of Global Champions League. And let's not forget, with it being Super Saturday, there will be an LGCT Grand Prix of Stockholm still to follow tonight. We hope that the weather holds off. We hope that the conditions, for the fans' sake and, of course, for the competitors' sake, will try to remain as clear as possible. A beautiful aerial shot of the Olympic Arena in Stockholm today as we get ready for Global Champions League round 1. Prague Lions, number 2 on the championship, will be the first team out the gate, followed by Cannes Stars. They have been punching above their weight in recent weeks. Can they try and turn their 14 around? Paris Panthers, no Derek Kenny today. Harry Smulders comes in for the second round, followed by Saint Tropez Pirates, Madrid Emotion, London Knights, Scandinavian Vikings, and the Hamburg Giants before we take a break and look at the halfway performances. Where will today's title go? We will find out later on this afternoon. Thank you for joining us on GCTV. Global Champions League Round 2 from Stockholm starts next.